this year, in June, a girl by the name of Jada, a 16-year-old, was brutally raped by a number of men, or boys, I should say. And as a result, some of the boys took a photo of her, and then they circulated it around the school. She was laying on the floor, she was unconscious, and she had her leg bent in a peculiar position. And once other students in the school saw the image, they started using the hashtag Jadapose and then posing like her in the photo. So they were basically bullying her after she was gang raped by a bunch of her peers. Now, she decided that she wouldn't hide behind closed doors, that she would go out and she would speak to the media and she would talk about what happened to her. And as a result, finally, months and months later, 2 individuals have been arrested for the rape. One of them is a 19-year-old by the name of Clinton Onyehialam, and the other one is a 16-year-old, and since he's a minor, we unfortunately do not have his identity. Of course, there's a policy where they don't release his identity. But I think it's important to show the image of the 19-year-old and kind of have a discussion about why, in this day and age, teenagers think it's funny when someone gets raped, and it's okay to circulate a photo like that and make fun of it. Keep in mind that she claims, and of course there needs to be a trial and all of these things need to be, figured out. But she claims that she had a drink and that it was spiked. And then after that, she lost complete control. And before she knew it, she woke up and realized what had happened to her.
Yeah, as we see with the Bill Cosby story, it's not like that's not possible. It appears that that's something that folks do. Now, my guess is that a lot of people, and I'm trying to be as fair as I can, I don't know why I'm doing this, to the people who did the obnoxious poses, not the people who raped her, but the people who did the Jadapose on Twitter, is that they probably thought, well, she was drunk and she passed out and it's her fault, right? So they probably don't believe her story about the drink being spiked. Now, again, that'll be adjudicated in court, and we'll see. But you have to understand how irrelevant that is. If somebody got drunk and passed out, that doesn't mean that you can take her clothes off and all rape her, okay? So you shouldn't pass out from drinking, and it's not a good idea for a number of reasons, right? But it doesn't give the guys in the room carte blanche to rape you. So how do you, come on, guys, you got to be able to see that. So what are you doing the pose of the girl who got raped? Like, haha, she was drunk. Haha, if she were, maybe, again, I don't know why, but I'm giving them such benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Maybe a lot of them didn't know she'd been raped. They just thought, that's a funny picture of a girl who's passed out. Which then, okay, then it's no big deal. But that's not the case.
No, it's not the case. And another thing that I find amazing is that these guys were so brazen about what they did. After they had done this to her, they took a photo of it and then they started circulating it around the school as if it's funny. Like, haha, we just sexually assaulted someone. We just allegedly gang raped someone. And now we're going to share the pictures with all of our peers and make fun of her and bully her just to add insult to injury. And I just want to give Jada a lot of credit, okay? Because obviously rape is a super traumatizing situation. And then you add the bullying to it. I mean, I don't know how I would handle that situation. I would probably want to just crawl under the covers and not want to be seen in public. She went out there and she spoke to the media and she's like, no, I don't want you guys to hide my identity just because I'm a 16-year-old. I want you guys to use my real name. I want to talk about what happened to me, and I'm not going to let this destroy me. And that is amazingly resilient for a 16-year-old girl who went through something so traumatic.
Yeah, and look, I think that my guess is that the defense of these guys will be, oh, she consented. I'm sure that they'll say that, whether it's true or untrue, right? And again, they'll decide that in court. But another defense that's done in public among kids this age is, well, she passed out, so it's not like I raped her. She didn't say no. I didn't hold her down or anything like that. She was passed out. But that's why we had these conversations. That's rape. That's rape. She just because she didn't say no, it doesn't mean it's not rape. If she's passed out, she can't give you consent. Yeah. It's not another kind of rape. It's just rape, okay? And so I bet you that when they were laughing about this and showing it around school, I bet you that none of them said, hey, look, we raped this girl.
Yep.
I bet you every single one of them was like, ha, she passed out, and then we all had sex with her, high five. No, that's really bad. That's what you got to understand. That's what you got to get through your head. That's not okay in any way, shape, or form.
So I started thinking about what it is about these students that makes them so different from the kids I grew up with, right? Because when I was in school, the thought of someone making fun of a rape victim was inconceivable. No one would ever do it. It was taken very seriously. And I was like, what was it about my upbringing and their upbringing that made us different from these students in Houston, right? And then I started to really think about it. Like, when we had comprehensive sex education, we didn't just talk about like what happens with the birds and the bees. We talked about all sorts of things, including rape, what it means to rape someone, what it means to sexually harass someone. Yeah, look, California, since it's a blue state, I would argue has the best comprehensive sex ed. At least that's what I was exposed to when I was in school. And I definitely thank my very conservative mom for letting me take those classes because it taught me a lot, you know?
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I grew up at a significantly different time than you did, which is interesting in and of itself. But I hesitate to say I'm from a different generation. But I went to high school in the 1980s in New Jersey. We didn't have any of that kind of conversation, right? So there was no talk of rape in sex ed at all. We had sex ed, but it was just, you know, what happens, yada yada, birth control, which was good and necessary. But no, those conversations were considered way too uncomfortable to have. And in my school, which is a large public school, I could see this.
Yeah.
Right?
You could.
Yeah, I don't see it like you do, like, whoa, that would never happen.
See, but that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering, and look, this is just me trying to figure out why things are different in some school districts and different in others. Maybe because we were exposed to that kind of education, we understood the weight of something like rape, right?
Yeah,
and
I'm telling you, I mean, growing up with the kids, I was on the football team. I didn't go to those parties because I was a dweeb, but I'd hear about them on Monday morning, and everybody said, she was so drunk, she was so drunk, and I don't know, maybe she was drunk and they were having fun and they had sex, and that's perfectly normal. That's what happens all the time, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Or she was so drunk and she passed out and they did whatever and they're still laughing about it.
Yeah.
I don't know, right? So that's why this is a lot more common than people realize. That's why we need to have this conversation.
Right.
So the kids get it through their heads. That's not okay.